Thank you. All right. So guys, I want you to take all the solutions that we have in this room in micromobility. I want you to put them aside, sum them up. I'm talking about electric vehicles, mopeds, motorbikes. Sum them all up, and you'll quickly realize that it doesn't even make 20% of the amount of cars we have in Turkey. So we are far away from a smartphone revolution. We are far away from social media revolution. I'll give you another comparison. Micromobility right now is only 3% of market size of what e-commerce is. So there's still a long way to go. Even the best predictions by 2030 show that we're going to grow 6 or 7 times more than we are right now, which is still not the growth that smartphone had. So what are we exactly doing here? And I don't want to dishearten you, but how many minutes in a day are we taking away from our customers ultimately? The message is very simple. We are still small, and there's a lot more room to grow. When it comes to BinBin, let me give you a couple of information about who we are. The company started in 2019. Basically, a bunch of students try to fix the problem of campus traveling from spot B to spot A, or from A to B. What started as a student love brand and a student problem quickly became Turkish love brand, as we opened more than 17 cities in 3 countries in a matter of 3 years. And we've also realized that we can get a lot of customers through this approach. And right now we have more than 2 million active customers. In fact, 30% of the Turkish youth aged between 18 and 24 are our customers right now, active customers in Turkey. And we did this, it was really very difficult, and we had a lot of competition in Turkey. And when I say competition, I don't really mean other micromobility companies. What I mean is buses, trains, trams, metros, and all these traditional way of transporting. So we had another one, a very interesting competitor, which I'm sure you guys haven't experienced in your country, and we call it, sorry, this was the old slide, we call it Dolmuş. So this bad boy right here is the original micromobility service. Why do I say this? Because it doesn't have bus stops. You pay as you go. If you want to leave the vehicle, you just wave your hand and say, I need to leave, and it stops. And if you want to get on it, you just wave your hand and it stops again. So it's really very similar to the micromobility we have. And the worst thing of all, it's perfect for micro travel. So if you don't want to take a cab, if you don't want to get on a bus, just hop on a hustle bustle and you're there. So beating this bad boy was probably our best success that nobody ever heard of. But what else did Turkey teach us? It taught us that growth comes from very unexpected places. So let me tell you a story. Late 2021, we had a huge shipment of vehicles coming in, and we had a decision to make. A, should we place the vehicles to Istanbul, which is a no-brainer. It has more population than the Netherlands. It's the worst traffic in Europe and American cities. It was pretty simple to just put it in Istanbul and become a market leader and get more users in Istanbul. Option B was a more tricky route. Let's go to other cities. Let's explore cities that are not, in terms of congestion, as bad as Istanbul, but still bad enough. Maybe not as populated as Istanbul, but still populated enough for us to operate. So what we did was we chose the option B, and we opened 7 cities in 2 months. Now, I haven't slept for those 2 months, and I sent my wife off and kids to Australia, far away, so they don't really get in touch with me while this operation is going on. And what we've seen is an incredible raise in all the KPIs possible. Number of riders per scooter, number of rides a day. We have a marketing team we don't even need a budget for, because people are just organically downloading the application. Even right now, in the morning with the group, when we go on application to see the new users, we see that there's thousands and thousands of people constantly activating their accounts. So this taught us that placing a culture where there's no culture of micromobility is as important, even more important, than writing the culture there is out there. So the question another question that came to our mind is this: can we do this globally? Can we replicate the way we select cities in Turkey and make it global? Before I go to the global slide, I'm going to tell you a bit about Evita and startups in general. So what you have in the last 10 years is a very simple process. You've got, and especially in e-commerce and all these booming industries, you have a couple of people that make application, then you've got some users downloading that and start using it, and then they go to the VC's door and they say, look, these guys are using the application, give us some money, we'll grow more, without asking about profitability at first. And then what happens is either it goes to the IPO or it goes to another form of exit. But nobody really follows what happens after. Let me give you an example. Hepsi Burada, which is a Turkish e-commerce platform, very proudly did an amazing job in Nasdaq. Their shares opened at $14 per share, quickly went down to 1.4 in a month. So that's 10 times going down in 1 month. There's a company among us here who had a similar fate after IPO. And obviously, I'm not saying IPO or I'm not saying stock price is the only measure of success of the company, but it is an indicator. So while we're going global, what should we do with EBITDA is something that Turkish market really taught us very well. The other thing that Turkish market taught us very well, and is something that we are very proud of, is we did a huge questionnaire in 2021. We asked our customers, why are you guys using us? What is the main motivation? What are the motivators? And their answers grouped in 4 categories. The first one is psychological one. I read an article in Science magazine that says that nighttime traffic actually increases the risk of domestic violence by 10%. The anxiety and stress and their effects on psychological well-being while being in traffic is already a no-brainer. So just by providing this psychological environment when riding a scooter, when using a micromobility device, really motivated a lot of our users to use the solutions we have. Another part of group, another persona is more social persona. They want to have a common experience. They want to use that mentality of sharing is caring that we teach to our kids. The third option was the environmental one. People that want to see greener cities, people that want to see less crowded places, less cars in the center of the city. And obviously the very aware ones that talk about carbon footprint. And the final one, the economical one, is a persona that goes from a metro station to a workplace, is a persona that goes from a metro to his home. So these are also people that are motivated to use our solutions. But then we took a step back and we realized that this actually is very relatable to anybody in the world. So it ultimately drives us to our main goal, which is making the world a better place. Now, how can we achieve such great goal is a question we have. And the answer is very simple, and I think the next 3-4 slides is going to show you the answer. So we have to be a part of a culture for us to change the way people live. And how did we become a part of culture is very simple. We placed the scooters in the 7 cities. We worked our butts off to make it happen. We had a great communication, great application, no bugs, great store reviews. But then something very interesting happened, and I'm going to show you in the next 3 slides. This is the first one. A couple of dudes just writing, making a transportation system for a washing machine. The second one, another relocation services by BinBin. So this is really something and my favorite one, the third one, is the orange BinBin. This was in festival in Adana in March, where we had just organically users coming together and making this happen. Now, obviously, what this shows us is not that Turkish people are quick-witted and resourceful, which they are, but what it actually showed us is we became the part of culture. We became the part of everyday life. And ultimately, what we did for them is we took a couple of minutes from their lives, and then we made them more joyful and made them more happy than they were before. And we hope to continue like this globally, and the cities that we select, to have more pictures of this throughout the world. Thank you very much.